What happens when greed meets 10 determined people working through one long night? Every year, my parents rent a house with about a quarter-acre of beautiful grapevines. As part of the rental agreement, the landlord gives us the first chance to harvest every grape. That should have been the end of the story. Unfortunately, it never was. Before we moved in, an older woman named Morn used to collect grapes from those vines. Ever since we arrived, she's acted like the property still belongs to her. The landlord has reminded her countless times that we get first choice because we're the paying tenants, yet she creates the same drama every year. The ridiculous part? She already has grapevines on her own property. Apparently, that still wasn't enough. This year, my mom planned to pick the grapes over the weekend, but life had other plans. My dad had just undergone major cancer surgery, and everyone who usually helped my mom came down with a stomach bug. Before we knew it, the weekend was over, and the grapes were still on the vines. Then Monday morning, Mom's phone rang. It was Morn. She smugly announced that since we hadn't picked the grapes, she was bringing her whole family the next morning to harvest every single one. My mom explained Dad's surgery and asked for a few more days. Maureen didn't care. That's your problem. You missed your chance. Tomorrow, my family is taking the grapes. Mom came into the kitchen in tears, saying Maureen called herself a Christian but showed no compassion. That was enough for me. No way, I said. If we have to stay up all night, we're picking every last grape. I called everyone I knew, my girlfriend Emma, my friends Jake and Ryan, my cousin Madison, even Mom's co-workers. Emergency grape mission. Be here before sunset. By 7 that evening, 10 people stood in our backyard carrying buckets and flashlights. Even my dad refused to stay inside. Despite recovering from surgery, he grabbed a bucket and joined us. The grapes were perfect. Big. Sweet. Exactly what Morn expected to take. Emma turned it into a competition, racing to fill her bucket first. Jake blasted old-school 90s hip-hop, and somehow the night became the funniest harvest party we'd ever had. By midnight, we were halfway done. Mom, exhausted, couldn't stop laughing. Every few minutes she'd say, "Wait until Morn sees these empty vines tomorrow." By 3 in the morning, we were completely delirious. Ryan spotted one perfect bunch high above the others and declared it the chosen grapes. Jake lifted him onto his shoulders to grab them. As sunrise approached, only one row remained. Dad finally fell asleep in his lawn chair after helping for nearly 4 hours. He was the night's biggest hero. We were all covered in dirt and sticky grape juice. Then, exactly at 7, car doors slammed outside. Morn had arrived with what looked like her entire extended family. Emma and I watched from behind the fence, trying not to laugh. They confidently walked toward the vines carrying baskets. Then they froze. Not a single grape remained. We'd even picked the tiny clusters. The silence lasted only a second before Morn completely lost it. She demanded to know where the grapes had gone. Still wearing grape-stained pajamas, Mom simply smiled. "Oh," she said, "we decided to pick them after all." One relative asked if anything was left. Mom pointed to one lonely vine with exactly 3 grapes. "Help yourselves." Instantly, Morn's own family started complaining. Her daughter couldn't believe they'd driven all that way for almost nothing. Within minutes, everyone piled back into their cars and left empty-handed. Meanwhile, our garage was overflowing with grapes. We had harvested enough to make homemade wine for the next 5 years, and the satisfaction tasted even sweeter than the grapes themselves.